Hey there tech fans, Rick here again from the OREI team. In today's video, I'll show you how you can easily use the new ToVi system to create an HDMI extension relationship that allows you to share all of your media content from one location with a second remote location up to 100 meters away over a single IP connection. This new ToVi system from OREI was designed to provide a flexible and expandable AV-over-IP solution that includes several different profiles. In today's video, I'll show you how to create that HDMI extension relationship, but you can also use the system to create an HDMI switch or an HDMI splitter, an HDMI matrix, and even a video wall controller, all inside of the same network, completely controlled by software. Now for today's example, you'll need a single transmitter, a single receiver, a network control hub, and a PoE switch. And if you stay tuned next, I'll show you how to go into the GUI and configure the system to enable this HDMI extension. And then I'll do a demonstration to show you exactly how the solution works. And I'll come back one more time and point out some of the special features that this new ToVi system provides. To get started, connect your transmitter module, receiver module, and your network control hub to the PoE switch using a standard Cat6 or Cat7 LAN cable and power everything up. You can now open a web browser from any computer on the network and navigate to address 169.254.8.100, which is the network address of that control hub. And you'll be greeted by this welcome screen. Enter your password and click Login, and that'll bring up the main screen of the GUI. And the first time you use the system, it doesn't know about any encoders or decoders that are part of the ToVi system. So it presents this wizard, which makes it really easy for you to find those devices by simply clicking Next. In this case, I'd like to show you how you can add those manually first. So I'll close out the wizard and I'll confirm that I don't want to use it. And that'll take us to the main page that shows you everything you need to know about the current status of the system. Along the left-hand side, you've got device, matrix, video wall, and these help you control the devices and the relationships between the input devices and the output devices. But the first thing we'll need to do is discover the transmitter module and the receiver module on the network. And to do that, I'll scroll down and you'll see a search device via wizard button right there. Click that, and then I want to automatically manage all of the devices by the control box. And I can click Next. What's happening here is the control box is actually searching the network, it's pinging IP addresses and looking for anything that is recognized by a ToVi signature. And it takes a few seconds for it to find the transmitter and the receiver. If you have multiple devices on the network, it'll find all of them. And when it finishes, it'll come back and ask you if you'd like to add those manually or just add all of them to the system. And once it finds them and you add them to the system, then you can take action on them. So this is almost finished. And here we go. So I have two choices here. I can automatically add both of the encoders and decoders to the system or just list them. I'd like to add them, so let me click Next. And I want to stop searching at this point and add whatever it found back to the system. Now if you watch the encoder and decoder up top, it's got one now on each. So it found the one encoder and it found one decoder. There's the decoder by clicking that tab right there. So now that I have an encoder in the system and a decoder in the system, I can actually connect the two using the matrix selection right there. And I can do that by dragging my media content over to the display that I'd like it displayed on. So what you've seen here is on the encoder side, I'm connected to a small media device that's generating a video, and the decoder is connected to a monitor somewhere else in the system, and that can be up to 100 meters away. And what I've just done is drag that media content to that secondary monitor at that remote location. So by doing that, I'm creating an HDMI extension relationship between the two. And again, if I had multiple encoders, they would show up over here, and I could drag any of those media sources to that same monitor. And if I had multiple monitors, I could drag that media content to both of those monitors at the same time. And it really is just that easy to get it working. Now that we've finished the scan and added the transmitter module and the receiver module to the system and set up that HDMI extension relationship between them, we're ready to start sharing media content from the primary location to the secondary remote location, which can be up to 100 meters away. So for this demonstration, I've set up a small media player right here that's currently looping a video on this monitor, and that's the media content I'd like to share with my remote location. Over here I've set up a second monitor, and this represents that remote location where I'd like to enjoy that content, and I have a receiver right here. Now both the transmitter and receiver are connected to the same PoE switch, and again we've set up the configuration to transmit the media content from here to that second location. Now the first connection I'll make is from the media device directly to the transmitter, and I'll do that by disconnecting the HDMI cable from the monitor and plugging that directly into the HDMI input port in the transmitter. And I have another high-speed HDMI cable connected to the monitor, and I'll plug that into the HDMI output port on the receiver. And it'll take a second for them to recognize each other and transmit that media content across the network. And there you go. So what you're viewing here is media content from the primary side that's been converted into a network signal and sent across the network to the receiver, and then converted back into an HDMI signal for display in this monitor. And one other feature I really like about this solution is the local loopback functionality, which allows me to continue to enjoy the content at the primary location while I'm simultaneously sharing it with my remote location. And to take advantage of that feature, you'll need an additional HDMI cable, and you'll plug one end of that into a local monitor at the primary site, and the other end of that cable into the HDMI output port on the transmitter module. Now it'll take a second to make the adjustment, and you'll see the image show up over here again while you're transmitting it to that remote location. And it's just that easy to get it working. I hope the overview and demonstration were helpful. This new ToVi system from OREI was designed to provide a flexible and expandable AV-over-IP solution for distributing all of your media content to multiple remote locations across a wide network. And the best part is, it's dynamic. It's totally programmable, and it can behave like several other dedicated products inside of the same network. For example, I showed you today how to create an HDMI extension relationship, but you can also use the same system to create an HDMI switch, an HDMI splitter, an HDMI matrix, and even a video wall controller inside of the same network, all controlled through software on the network hub. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content, and it's plug and play compatible with most modern media devices and most modern displays. Pretty much everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.